A used Jeep can look perfect and still be one short drive away from a costly repair bill. Mud, mods, and skip maintenance don't show up in photos. They show up after you've paid. In this video, we're doing 12 quick used Jeep checks that tell the truth fast, and check number 1 is the easiest one to miss when you're excited. Number 12, frame rust and cracks. On September 16, 2019, NHTSA opened investigation, PE 19-0. 1-2 on 2018 to 2019 Wranglers, listing about 270,000 vehicles. Treat the frame like the whole car. If the frame is sick, everything else is makeup. Get low with a light and scan the rails, cross members, and every weld with precision. Fresh undercoat in one spot only? Why now? That's a signal worth questioning before you go any further. Check body mount cups and skid plate pockets where mud and debris sit. One new patch in a sea of old grime is a clear tell. NHTSA mentioned weld concerns like excessive slag and porous welds. Messy beads or pits can point to weakened structural integrity. Tap the metal with a tool and listen carefully. Does it have a solid ring or a thin, hollow sound that suggests weakness? Rust scale at mounts and hairline cracks near brackets could indicate serious damage. A clean Jeep can hide problems with spray and shine. The frame does not care about paint. Find the worst crack after you pay. So before you fall in love, ask what's hiding behind that lift and shiny fender. Number 11. Unsafe lifts and mods. Jeep's warranty page says parts added after the factory can fall outside coverage and improper mods can void protections you expect. So read every modification as a real risk to safety. Matched shocks or random brands thrown together, stacked spacers, cheap bolts, missing bump stops. Look for shiny movement marks at bolts and brackets. Hardware should not look like it slid or twisted under load. Check angles at control arms, track bar, and brake lines at full droop and compression. Anything stretched, twisted, or tight is a red flag that deserves more investigation. Ask who installed it and for receipts, alignment sheets, and a parts list. Some sellers swap stock parts back on before selling, which can hide deeper problems. If choices feel sloppy, the wear is usually worse, and it shows on the tires, suspension, and overall handling. A lift that looks cool can hide stretched brake lines or bent components that cost more to fix properly. Number 10. Tire wear. Many Jeep Wrangler schedules call for tire rotation about 7,500 miles, so tires should look even across all treads. One edge bald, the other edge fine. That is alignment or worn parts talking loud. Check the spare. If it looks new, why do the four corners look tired or mismatched? Ask why and get the full story. Feel the tread. Feathering or waves mean bigger problems with alignment or shocks. New tires can hide shakes. Make sure rotations and alignments are done right. This will affect fuel economy, traction, and driving comfort. Don't ignore tire condition. It's a window into how the Jeep was maintained overall. Number 9. Steering slop. On September 28, 2018, a Part 573 report for Recall 18/675 described a weld issue that could affect steering. It said welds could be off-seam and the bracket could separate from the frame. Big deal if ignored. Ask for a safe highway run. Radio off, light grip. Gentle steering input, instant response, or delay. Do one smooth lane change and a light brake. Does it track straight or does it hunt and wander in the center? Track straight matters for safety. Hit a small bump at a safe speed. Does it shake and build, then calm only when you slow down? That pattern matters. A new stabilizer can hide symptoms while looseness stays underneath. Why would someone sell right after fixing a wobble if it wasn't fully resolved? Twist. It can come and go with road texture and tire heat. If it feels okay today, what about tomorrow when the heat expands worn parts? The steering feel is subtle, but when it's off, the cost to fix can climb fast. Number 8. Track bar and ball joints. In October 2018, dealer instructions for Recall U, A5/18V-675, said about 18,000 Wranglers were in scope. It listed build dates from May 7, 2018 through August 21, 2018. If your Jeep sits there, you want proof of recall work. Ask for paperwork that shows recall work completed by an authorized dealer. A promise is nice, but a record is better. Look at the bracket area. Fresh paint only there? Why only? That could hide new welds or patch jobs. Listen for clunks on light braking, knocks over small bumps, or a vague on-center feel. Ball joints hide wear until load hits, and lifts add load that accelerates wear. Do a tiny steering wiggle while stopped. Slack before the tires react. Slack first is bad news. If you can, check for play. Watch the joint in the tire while a helper rocks the wheel back and forth. Any movement here is not normal and will cost money to fix. If the front end feels vague, that vagueness is money waiting to leave your pocket soon. Number 7. Four-wheel drive. Jeep's 4x4 guide says do not exceed 25 miles per hour or 40 kilometers per hour in low range safely. It also says engage low range at about 2 to 3 miles per hour or 3 to 5 kilometers per hour or slower for proper tooth engagement. Ask the seller to demo 4L correctly. Roll slowly, shift to neutral, then move the lever smoothly with confidence. Try it on loose ground. Does it engage smoothly or feel forced? If they refuse, that's a red flag. In 4H, it should feel planted with even torque. In 4L, strong torque and purposeful movement should be clear. Never test 4L on dry pavement. It risks driveline windup. If they insist, it's a clue about their care of the Jeep. Linkages can bind if 4L is unused, even on a street Jeep. Once 4WD works, follow the power path under the Jeep. Fluids leave receipts, so check for leaks or damage along the transfer components. Number 6. Transfer case and differential leaks. On May 7, 2019, a Mopar bulletin titled Transfer Case Oil Leak described replacing 6 housing bolts to fix leaks. Check for wet seams and shiny streaks indicating oil escaping. Inspect skid plates for fresh drips. If wet, identify the source. Move to the differentials. Check cover edges and fill plugs for wetness, fresh sealant, or paint that could hide repairs. Sniff for gear oil smell near the axles. It's a distinct scent that tells you oil has been present. Also glance at vent tubes. Clogged vents push oil out when pressure rises. Ask when the fluid was changed and what was used. If they can't answer, assume they skipped service. Small leaks grow with heat and pressure, and sellers may clean spots before you arrive. Check again after a warm drive, not just cold. A transfer case leak today could lead to a larger repair bill tomorrow if internal seals fail. If you're finding this video helpful, remember to hit that subscribe button for more Jeep insights. Number 5. Axle seals and U-joints. On August 1st, 2023, a Jeep notice warned a right rear axle shaft may leak oil after over 10,000 miles, so check the inside rear wheels and backing plates for oily grime spreading outward from seals. Look inside. Look at the drive shaft joints. Dry and dusty or wet and dirty with leaked grease or oil. Wet and dirty often indicate neglected seals. Lift angles stress U-joints. Shift from drive to reverse. Thunk. Smooth or slack. Listen for a hum that changes with speed. Seal leaks can damage bearings. Fresh grease can quiet a dry joint for a short time, then the noise returns once heat builds. A chirp or a light clunk today will become louder tomorrow as heat expands worn parts and increases friction. That hum or vibration is a symptom you don't want to ignore. Number 4. Cooling system. On January 19, 2024, a service bulletin listed a thermostat housing coolant leak tied to improperly tightened fasteners that could lead to overheating issues. Cold engine, look for dried crust, stains, or wet spots near the thermostat housing and hoses. Cold engine first before it's been run tells you where fluid goes at rest. Watch the temp gauge at idle. Then drive until warm, park, and let it idle. Heat soaks raise pressure and force weak seals to show themselves. Do you smell sweet coolant after you stop? If the seller says it is normal, ask why any leak would be normal at all. The sweet coolant smell is unmistakable and should raise red flags about neglect or unfinished repairs. Check that the heater blows hot and the fan works at all speeds. Weak heat can be a clue to low coolant or thermostat issues. Coolant can be topped off right before you arrive, so do not trust the level alone. Use your eyes and nose, then move to other fluids and components. Number 3. Fluids color and smell. Jeep's warranty says maintenance is on you, so fluid condition is an honesty test of care. Check the engine oil level and smell. Burnt or thick oil usually means overheating or long gaps between changes. Look at coolant for film or sludge. Brake fluid should be clear, not dark. Low fluid can signal wear or hidden leaks. Check for service stickers and dates. If they track work, why hide it? An overly clean engine bay that only shows cleaned leaks can be a cover-up. Poor fluid habits shorten part of life, and the repair bills come after you buy. So ask yourself, do you trust the seller's words or the actual service history? Number 2. OBD, 2 codes and monitors. Ohio's. OBD Readiness Guide says a vehicle can run up to 11 diagnostic checks, reported through readiness monitors. Codes can be cleared fast, but readiness takes real driving miles to complete. Scan for stored codes, pending codes, and readiness. Are many monitors incomplete? That is a clue someone recently cleared codes to hide issues temporarily. Take a photo of the screen. Ask when codes were cleared or when the battery was disconnected. Take a photo and compare it to later scans if possible. If your scanner shows freeze frame data, save it. It can reveal trigger conditions that tell you when and why a fault occurred. A clean scan means more when readiness is complete. If it is incomplete, you have less proof even with no codes. Readiness complete and no faults is the best case. And if you need an inspection soon, incomplete readiness can fail you. So do you accept a fresh reset or demand a real drive cycle story from the seller and records to back it up? Number 1. Test drive with radio off. A recall notice for UA 5/18. V-675 warned bracket separation can reduce steering response and cause a crash without prior warning, so the drive must be quiet. Radio off. No distractions, just feel and listen. Smooth road, then slightly rough road. Clunks on light braking. Wandering at steady speed. Delay on center. Feel wandering or looseness. Do a slow, tight turn. Any pop, bind, or click when the suspension loads. Slow, tight turns can expose worn bushings, joints, or mounts. After a bump, does it settle fast or start shaking and build? Shaking builds as loose parts warm up and move. Let the seller talk later. During the drive, you listen like a mechanic. Listen like one and ask for explanations when you hear something that doesn't feel right. Then stop and idle for 2 minutes. Heat soak reveals smells and drips that didn't show during motion. Idle for 2 minutes, then check under the vehicle for new wet spots. Smell for coolant and oil. Inspect under the hood for wetness around the engine and coolant bottle, including hoses and clamps. Some problems show up only after tires warm and parts load from heat expansion. So when you park and look down, what stain is about to appear? A thorough test drive is the last and most important mechanical check before you talk numbers and finalize a deal. If any of these checks made you pause, drop your Jeep story in the comments. Subscribe for more straight buying tips and share this with a friend shopping today. See you next time.